Hello! It's Pax here, and we're back with Throwback Thursday, episode number 83. Today we have the third deck from 1997's Tempest. This is the Swarm. Let's see. From the Shadow Plane of Wrath emerges the Swarm, a pre-constructed deck designed to engulf your enemies with a relentless army of creatures loaded with strategy and packed with new creatures. The Swarm is fast, furious, and fun. Right. Playable out of the box or customizable, Tempest pre-constructed decks are innovative new combos directly in your hand. Now this one has been opened before. And Tempest was the first set with precons. So we have our deck, the little strategy guide that came with it, and it actually had the decks, or the deck list, and a upgrade guide for all 4 decks. So we'll be doing the slivers next week. Funny enough, there is actually a different book that came with the tournament packs, which was the Tempest storybook. They look very similar, but they are different. Let's see. We're looking for the Swarm. It's Deep Freeze. We did that last week. Swarm is the last one. There we go. The Swarm. So our basic deck list. 14 forests. 7 plains. 2 Vec Township. 3 Master Decoy. 2 Soltari Trooper, 1 Soltari Crusader, 3 Sky Shroud Elf, 4 Muscle Sliver, 3 Pincer Beetles, 3 Rootwalla, 1 Krakelin, 3 Trained Armadon, 1 Elven Warhounds, which is our first rare, 2 Ranger in Vec, 1 Anoint, 1 Disenchant, 3 Pacifism, 1 Elvish Fury, 1 Needlestorm, 1 Aluren. Yeah, we got Aluren in here, which is our second rare, 2 Overrun, and 1 Recycle. So you'll notice there are 3 rares, and 2 of them are fantastic. So that was the quality of decks that we used to have for precons. This, I believe, was it was either $7.95 or $8.95 when it originally retailed. Let's take a look at the deck itself. So starting off, we have Recycle, art by Phil Foglio. Absolutely classic art. I have a playmat of this art floating around somewhere. This copy is a little worse for wear. But 4 green for an enchantment. Skip your draw phase. Whenever you play a card, draw a card, and then during your discard phase, choose and discard all but 2 cards from your hand. So basically, it says your maximum hand size is 2, and you skip your draw step, but whenever you play a card, you draw a card. Now, I believe this has been errated to be whenever you play a spell, but at the time, that included lands. It may still include lands. I've not seen the Oracle text for Recycle in quite some time. But super fun card, ton of combos that you can play with it. Next up we have Overrun, art by Jeff Miracola. This is the original Overrun effect. 2 green for a sorcery. All creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. Just classic green go wide finisher. Still absolutely fantastic and limited. Aluren, the card that spawned a million combos. Art by April Lee. 2 green for an enchantment. Any player may play a creature card with total casting cost 3 or less whenever he or she could play an instant card and without paying its cost. I believe the Oracle text for this is all creatures have flash. You may play creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less without paying their mana cost. Or players may play creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less without paying their mana cost. There are so many infinite combos and combo chains you can walk up on this. There is a pre-modern deck built entirely around this. There are a couple of legacy decks that utilize Aluren. It is a super fun archetype, and it is absolutely brain-melting for some people. I love Aluren decks. I haven't had a chance to play one in about a year, but so much fun. And it was in a precon. Needle Storm, art by Val Merrick. Let's see, 2 and a green for a sorcery. It deals 4 damage to each creature with flying. Nice medium. A nice way of sweeping up most flyers, especially at the time. There were a few 5/5 flyers at the time that got around Needle Storm, but it was still pretty good for cleaning up flyers in general. Except Elvish Fury, art by Quentin Hoover. Absolutely iconic artist. For green, it's an instant with buyback 4, so you can pay an additional 4, so 5 in total. When you play this, when you do, you put the card back into your hand instead of your graveyard as part of resolving the spell's effect. And target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It's not bad, especially on buyback. I think that's actually common. Next up, we have Pacifism, art by Adam Rex. Good old Harn art. 1 and a white for an enchant creature. Enchanted creature cannot attack or block. So, good old standard effect there. We have 3 copies. Next up, Disenchant. This is the L.A. Williams art. The original art, I believe, was Amy Weber. Your classic artifact and removal, or artifact and enchantment removal. 1 and a white for an instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Just simple, clean. Although it has been power crept out of standard by things like Return to Nature, which is more in the green color pie now. Heritage Reclamation, things like that. But this is the OG. And still heavily played in pre-modern. And old school / 93-94. Let's see, Anoint, art by Eric David Anderson. For white, it's an instant with buyback 3, prevent up to 3 damage to any creature. Not much to say there. Ranger and Vec, art by Randy Elliott. Look at that beautiful multicolored border. I miss this version of gold cards. That's what we used to call them. Instead of multicolored cards, we called them gold cards. And this was just absolutely iconic. As far as the frame goes. One white green for a 2/2 summon soldier with first strike, and for a green, you could regenerate it. Regenerate, also a clutch keyword that I wish they would bring back. It's a real skill tester. Elven Warhounds, our 3rd rare. Art by Kev Walker. Absolutely beautiful art too. 3 and a green for a 2/2 summon hounds, and when it is blocked by any creature, put that creature on top of its owner's library. So it's basically impossible to block. And it's a tempo loss on top of it. There's a fun combo with this and Lure, where you can basically lock up your opponent's draws. Next up, Trained Armadon, art by Gary Leach. 1 green for a 3/3 elephant. That's it, just nice, clean 3/3 elephant. I miss vanilla creatures. Cracklin, art by Richard Kane Ferguson. I love Richard Kane Ferguson's art. It's just such an iconic style. But X green green for a 0/0 summon beast. It comes into play with X +1/+1 counters on it, and then for 1 and a green, you can regenerate it. It's a good late game mana sink. Still occasionally sees play in premodern, but not too often. Next up, we have Root Walla, art by Roger Raup. 2 and a green for a 2/2 summon lizard. And then for 1 and a green, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and you can only activate it once each turn. So Basking Root Walla actually gets its ability from this card, which is a much more played card, but still fun. And it's good in limited. Fencer Beetles, art by Stephen Danielle. 2 and a green for a 3/1 summon insects, and it cannot be the target of spells or abilities. This is basically a powered down deadly insect. Plays very similar. We have 3 copies. Next up, Muscle Sliver, art by Richard Kane Ferguson. Arguably one of the best slivers of all time. Still sees play in Pauper, because it was originally printed as a common. And it's just a powerhouse. So it's effectively a 2/2 because it does pump itself. But 1 and a green for a 1/1 summon sliver. All slivers get +1/+1. That applies to itself, so it's always at least a 2/2 unless it has something modifying it. We have 4 copies of Muscle Sliver. It was just an easy way to put 16 power on the board with, actually no, it's 20 power on the board for 8 mana. Alright, Sky Shroud Elf, art by Jeff Miracola. 1 and a green for a 1/1 summon elf, and then it taps for a green, and for 1 you can add white or red. So it can filter 1 to white or red, and it's played as a mana source, so you can tap it effectively for green, white, or red. You just have to filter it in the process. This was a pretty decent mana fixer. I mean, we did have Birds of Paradise in Standard or Type 2 at the time because of 6th edition, I think it was. I'm pretty sure 6th edition came out just before Tempest. It has been a minute since I thought about when the release order was. But it was a nice extra mana dork for your Naya colors. Saltari Crusader, art by Randy Gallegos. I love the Saltari design-wise. I've always thought they were pretty fantastic. I love the Dothy, too. Shadow creatures always held a special place in my heart. But 2 and a white for a 2/1 summon Knight with Shadow, so it can only block or be blocked by other creatures with Shadow. And then for 1 and a white, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. This saw a lot of play in white weenie decks, still does in premodern. The Saltari are pretty cool overall like that. Next up, Saltari Trooper, art by Kev Walker. Another absolutely iconic card from the set. 1 and a white for a 1/1 summon soldier with Shadow. And if it attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So it's a 2/2 when attacking, which is generally what you want to be doing with it. 2 copies. Next up, Master Decoy, art by Phil Foglio. Again, another piece of iconic art. The humor in it. I love Phil Foglio's art. It always makes me laugh or smile. There's just a sense of humor to it. 1 and a white for a 1/2 summon soldier for a white and tap. Tap target creature. Good way to just lock down your opponent's creature. Or, keep things tapped low so you can attack. We have 3 copies. Now we're to the lands. We have Vec Townships, art by Eric David Anderson. It's a land that taps for a colorless, and then you can tap it for a green or a white. And when you do, it does not untap during its next during your next untap step. Well, untap phase in this. This was back when it wasn't the untap step; it was the untap phase. Phases and steps have been rearranged a bit. Actually, this would have been just before 6th edition then. Yeah, Nice little slow land there. Then we have our basics. So we have planes with art by Therese Nielsen. Now, Therese Nielsen did all the art for the planes in the set. We have some absolutely beautiful watercolors on these. And there are 4 different arts. Next up, we have Forest with art by Douglas Schuler. I love Doug Schuler's landscapes, especially his basic lands. Again, just absolutely beautiful work. I believe this is oils? I don't remember. Pretty sure these are oils. But there are 4 arts for Forest, also all by Douglas Schuler. Third one. And our 4th. The one with the wavy clouds is my favorite of these 4. Beautiful. All right. Well, that was the Swarm from pre-constructed deck from Tempest. As always, thank you for joining me on this adventure. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm. It really helps us out, and I really appreciate it. And until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.